sitting here listening to a little Stephen Wonder. Cut it off for the copyright. None of that music is copyright by me. It was being played in the background and it's a fair use. I listen to turn out right. So me and Veronica, we gonna dolly with the cards from if she come in tonight. And then first I'm gonna start off with the now first thing I'm gonna pull up is my Facebook page. Information in my bio. Y'all gotta check out my man Carbonated Cookie. He got some good some no sound. Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me now? My mic not muted. I'm gonna unmute it. Can y'all hear me now? We good? All right. I was just rambling while I was doing my invites anyway, so y'all ain't miss no critical information. But what I'm about to pull up, what I was saying, is my Facebook page. So my Facebook page bio haven't changed ever since I had Facebook. So the first thing we're gonna do is gonna go to my Facebook bio. Okay, this is the bio. Now, if you see what it say, it's a works at General Motors, studied at none, right? And then it say went to Pontiac Northern High, lives in Pontiac, Michigan, from Chicago, Illinois, right? That's been my bio ever since I had Facebook. I haven't changed it, right? So they say I ain't from Chicago, and they said that I wasn't born in Cook County Jail. Well, Big Mama had me doing manual labor, right? And while she had me doing manual labor, something popped up. So I want y'all to look at this for people, because this is to show my give a fuck don't move well enough to tell you some bullshit. See where it say place of birth, Chicago, Cook County, Illinois, November 10th, 1968, male child. Since they want to put my government up there, right? So this is my birth certificate. In Chicago, the only school I attended one semester of elementary at Kershaw Elementary School. I ain't gotta make none of this shit up. I'll just tell y'all the truth. And then when somebody tell you I'm making some shit up, then I'm gonna show you. Right? So I was gonna save that and do it later, but Big Mama told me to put that shit out there and let the people see that when I tell them I was born in Chicago, I'm not making that shit up. Right? I don't have to make this shit up. Right? I've been telling it, this shit has been in the old videos already about my moving from Illinois, from Chicago as a little boy, living in Pontiac and Grand Rapids, Michigan, and moving back to Chicago periodically throughout my life. Now, I can keep going with receipts on me living in Chicago. That's not even necessary. I just wanted to, Big Mama wanted me to show my birth certificate because apparently it was a question of if I was really born in Chicago. I don't have an Obama certificate. My shit is genuine and authentic. Right? So, for anybody who don't know what it is, at this point, then, stay out my lane. Don't come over here fucking with me. I told y'all, anything I tell y'all, I'm going to be able to produce receipts. I got more receipts than that. That's just, right? So, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, right? But sometimes we got to show our kinfolk that we kinfolk, not skin folk, because the skin folk got them so confused they don't know the difference in the two. I'm telling the motherfucker, I'm straight up genuine. I don't have no reason to make none of this shit up. I'm not doing this for no money. That's so I can't be bought out, right? I set myself up to not need money during my transition because I knew what I was about to go through. So I took care of my business ahead of time so that my business would take care of me in the right times. Y'all don't know nothing about that shit. Proper preparation prevents poor performance, clowns. I prepared this shit properly from day one. None of these motherfucking bitch niggas gonna beat me because I'm gonna always be 2 steps ahead. Right? And like I said last night, right is right and wrong is wrong. Ain't no middle ground. Right is right and wrong is wrong. If a motherfucker doing wrong, let that shit be known. See, you can't call yourself a member of the ranks of the righteous while you doing rotten ass dirty shit. Right? Don't nothing run the duck but his bill. Right? Now, I don't know what else they gonna want me to prove next. But if I tell you a duck can pull a truck, don't argue with me. Just shut the fuck up and hook that motherfucker up and watch him pull that motherfucking truck. Cause I'm not gonna tell you some shit just to be telling you some shit. I don't have to go to nobody's platform and steal material to come back to my platform and tell y'all nothing. I already did the work. So I'm extemporaneous, on Johnny on the spot. You need some information, I got the information, right? Only reason why I had to stop showing receipts because I packed all my books up. My shit in boxes and shit, ready to roll out, right? Because anything I tell you, before I told it to you, I questioned it myself, right? And when I questioned it, I had to make sure that this shit was on the up and up. I'm not going to tell nobody no bullshit. I don't care what your background is. I don't care what your skin color look like. I don't care what your hair texture is. I don't care what your height, your weight. I don't care how ugly or how cute. None of that shit don't matter to me. I'm a grown ass man. And I feel like as a grown ass man, anybody that can't handle the truth gonna get abused with the truth until they get to the point where they can actually handle it, right? Um, my shit is genuine because my heart is genuine. I'm not in this shit to have followers. I don't need followers. Right? I'm fucking yes me and running behind me. Yes, master, what can I do? I don't want that shit. Right? I want stand up motherfuckers that if they think I'm wrong, tell me I'm fucking wrong. But if I'm right, I'm gonna tell you I'm fucking right. In this case, I'm 100% right. And as a grown man, I don't have I don't have enough give a fuck to lie to you because I don't think that you can do nothing about the truth that I tell. Right? Like, if a motherfucker don't like me telling the truth, I don't think that they can do nothing about it. I mean, so why would I tell a lie when I already have the truth at my disposal, when I know it because I lived it? This is my book of life, right? So from the 312 to the 313 to the 213 on a zigzag zig off of West Coast 440 turnaround off a monkey backflip to a straight bump on a turnaround off a papillon, which is a butterfly. And the butterfly effect is flipping the Mandela effect. And the Mandela effect flips Winnie the Pooh. And Pooh was a bear. And the bear is the queen mother bear of the bear clans. And the mama bear said that y'all need to know Papa Bear is a whole fucking gorilla. And before you grab a hold of that motherfucker, make sure you can hold on tight. Because at any given point, when he get tired of the bullshit, he gonna bust you in the head with some facts that you didn't even think he had. And they been on the books the whole time, but you was so busy trying to tear a motherfucker down that you couldn't see the motherfucker that came to build you up. So, from the mouth of Mama Bear, Black Girl Magic, Rudolph the Randolph, the motherfucking red-nosed reindeer. We talking about Bambi because her mother got murdered, right? So if they murdered her mama, they murdered the deer, the doe, the female deer, right? Trying to catch a ray or drop a golden sun, they done motherfucking brought in the darkness. But we finna flip this shit upside down, turn it around, jolly up the yellow brick road with the Tin Man, the motherfucking cowardly goddamn lion, the Leo, and we gonna take this motherfucker by storm. Don't believe me? Just ask Dorothy, right? She got the Toto with her. And when the Toto add up, it bounces off of a black dog, right? And the black dog is yapping. Why in the fuck is the dog yapping? Because it's the invaders at the gate. So the dog said, watch out for these motherfuckers that's coming to steal y'all shit. So when the dog went to yapping, I paid attention, right? So the scarecrow wasn't so goddamn scary after all. And that motherfucker had a brain in the end. Y'all motherfuckers fell asleep fucking with the Tin Man, chasing your tax identification number, right? But in the end of the day, when you got to the end of the yellow brick road, you was at the Emerald City. And the Emerald City is the Crystal City that's landing on the Emerald Lake in Colorado. But y'all not ready to hear that shit because y'all be thinking a nigga be making shit up. I don't have enough give a fuck. My gumption doesn't move high enough to make none of this shit up. I'm just going to tell you what I see. If you don't see it, that's not my fault. Real recognize real. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to put on these glasses. Sometimes we got to beat your ass and make you wear these motherfuckers because they live. And if they live, they trying to take our life. And if they trying to take our life, I'm trying to stop them. So you going to be part of the problem or part of the motherfucking solution because it's cleanup time. I brings all the receipts when I tell y'all something. I don't just be making shit up. Right? I've got the most receipts on file. You can go look at my Facebook. They took my other Instagram down with over 10,000 posts of motherfucking receipts. So, and then this one got receipts on it. You can scroll this motherfucker and get plenty of motherfucking receipts. Because this motherfucker loaded with them too. And then you could go to my Soro Sapien page on Facebook that's tied to this particular Instagram, and you can get some more receipts over there on that page because I done posted some over there too. So um, I'm just saying, this shit ain't always what you motherfuckers be thinking it is. Y'all think that motherfuckers just be in this shit to hear they self talk. I don't like to hear me talk. I like to hear me thinking. I like to hear me in the motherfucking um, gym getting my exercise on. I don't like to be on social media, right? But since I'm on social media because I can reach the most of my people through a social media platform, I'm going to be right here on social media telling y'all the information to help y'all motherfucking bump y'all level up. And those who want to bump their level up gonna bump straight, but those who get mad, frustrated, and angry because they want to stay where they at, stagnant and underdeveloped, then, in the words of Noble Drew Ali, then leave your ass in the state which I found you, ignorant idiot, you befuddling fools, right? So, um, I don't know who this motherfucker is, Scabbard 10. But I'm going to have to go over there and inbox him and have a little conversation behind the scenes, right? Because I ain't going to motherfucking report nobody. I ain't blocking a motherfucker. You motherfucking rotten motherfuckers that come in trying to motherfucking upset the peace. I'm here to establish justice. So you going to get rolled the fuck over or you going to bump straight. Them the only two positions it is left. Either you motherfucking bump straight or you getting rolled the fuck over. There ain't nothing else where to go. Ain't nowhere to fucking hide. Right? So get your motherfucking shit together. Right? Uh, Ain't nothing personal. It's just family business. And the family is in the business of reclaiming the family fortune. And the family fortune is ancient. We got old money. Them motherfuckers thought they knew what old money was, but you don't know what old money is until you got pharaoh money. Cause the oldest money on the planet is the money in the coffers of the motherfucking pharaohs. And y'all thought the coffers of the pharaohs was in Egypt. That shit over here. Why you think these motherfuckers came over here? Talking about they was looking for the city of gold, Cordoba, right? And they came over here slaughtering motherfuckers looking for the city of gold. But they should have been paying attention because all the time they saying Atlantis sank, that motherfucker flew away. So you wasn't going to never find that motherfucker while you was digging up under the motherfucking ground, blowing up cities, causing mudslides, great fires all crawl across the land. You telling the people that they was some slaves that came on ships from Africa when you know good and goddamn well these motherfuckers was already here. These motherfuckers been here so goddamn long, wasn't no here when they got here because they had to build here in order for it to exist. That's the shit I'm talking about, right? So, motherfucker can continue to say that I'm making shit up and continue to say I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm gonna continue to motherfucking assault them, rape their ass with receipts. They gonna be receipt raped, right? The Grand Canyon got motherfucking a whole lot of shit in there about our history and the relationship to Egypt. So that's the keys to unlocking the mystery as to who built the pyramids, where did they come from, why did they build them, and what was they used for. All that shit is in the Grand Canyon. But they don't want you to know that. So I'm going to tell you what they don't want you to know because I know what they don't want you to know. Yep, they going to get receipt raped. Every time they come with that bullshit, I'm going to pop them in the Badussi with another motherfucking receipt. Yep, twin pillars, east and west, opposing viewpoints, upside down, right side up. So let's see, let me see if, hey now. You ready, Veronica? Got your cards?
Please, I need a filter. Hold on one second. I always talk about it. being accountable, but we're gonna do a filter today. Peace, Uncle
I
Rod.
tried to do a filter, but I was so ugly it didn't do nothing but make shit worse.
No, you are very handsome. You're very handsome. You know,
You
I
just trying to make me blush.
no. It's funny
You
because you look like my youngest son.
oh, okay.
So I say that to say that I've been trying to speak with you and tell you like we are all from, we're related a lot of times. Or
Yeah,
not so more so related like bloodline, but tribe. We
yeah,
met each other in past lives.
yeah. And that's why we have that familiarity when we meet certain people. Like,
Right.
don't I know you from somewhere?
Right.
No, you don't know me. No, motherfucker, I know your ass from some goddamn where. You don't know me, yeah, motherfucker, I know
Or
your
like
ass.
you
But
just
I don't
pick
know
up
where I
like
know
you
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 from.
was let like you pick up like you left off just like 5 days ago.
Mm-mm.
You know. So
Yeah.
definitely. How are you feeling today?
Like I got a cape on with an S on that motherfucker.
You got an S on your chest. No, what my cousin say, he said you got an S, you got an S in the middle like a Skittle. No, he say something like that. That's
Mm-mm.
funny.
Yeah, we just really knocking.
Yeah.
So what's the question we gonna go over? Cause in the tarot spread you get your most accurate information from specific questions,
That is true. That is true.
right? So the
Um,
more specific the question, then the easier it is to narrow down the answer.
and also, it shouldn't be a yes or no question. You want to try to make it a
Right.
question that can be expounded on, like, that you could build off of too.
Uh, So the way that the question wrote, the question is like turning the dial for the radio in order for the answer to come in.
Yeah.
The visualization is used as an aid to sharpen the particular sense, right? So when you
Right.
pick up your deck is the radio,
Right.
right? The question is telling you what to dial the radio into,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
And then the answer come back through the radio as the song that you requested with the question.
Right.
So as you lay the cards down, you are playing the notes
Mm-hmm.
to the song that is the question,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
The more you know about symbolism and the meanings of different things, the more you can fine tune your equalizer in order to get a crisper, clearer reading from your oracle read,
Okay.
right? So there's certain things like you always study symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure get you different dictionaries of symbols, encyclopedias of symbols, because you want to know what symbols look like or mean in different from different points of view.
Right.
The more symbols you can assimilate a meaning to, the more you when you see that symbol, it's fine tuning the oracle read,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me look in the questions and see if there's something good in there that we can read on.
Because sometimes I think I get jumbled. Like, I realize that because, like you're saying, you need to sharpen your skill. I pull from personal experience a lot of times because I'm not as in depth in different things, like how you're saying to be able to communicate it in different ways. So that makes
So
sense.
you see how you say you pull from personal experience?
Mm-hmm.
You ever read the cards and you have a overwhelming emotional sensation,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'll remember the last time you had that sensation, what did it mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because now you are picking up the vibration or the frequency of the message energetically, so it's stimulating you emotionally And the subconscious mind is going to bring the energy up according to how you remember the feeling,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
So, like, like, for instance, something horrible happened, somebody called on the phone, and you know that your stomach, your heart dropped to your stomach as soon as you pick up the phone.
Mhm.
You already know the frequency. You feel the frequency before they ever say anything.
Right.
And you say, hello?
You already know. You're expecting what to expect. So you already,
Right.
yeah.
So when you do the tarot read, you'll get that same sensation,
Right.
right? And that's telling you the answer to the symbol that activated that energy.
Right. That's like I have to get my breath together too because my breath allows me to tune into exactly what the feeling is, you know. And so like
Mhm.
in the future for us as a tribe and as a collective, the reason why you hear a lot of people talking about fasting, why you hear them talking about cleansing your body, removing metals and detoxing at this time, especially people that you never thought you would hear talking about that, is because you need to be fine tuning
Me,
with your intuition. You need to be
look,
fine tuned into your discernment. So when it say left, you don't have a question in your mind about it being left or right.
right. So this is why you as a oracle or you read tarot. Tarot is the training wheels on your intuition.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna get to a point where the card will start flipping in your mind off of an event, and you'll know, oh, that's a knight of swords. It's coming in fast in the air,
Right.
right? You automatically see it playing out because it's the same way that the hieroglyphs in Egypt, when you go to what they call the alpha state, they turn into animated cartoons, and that's how you really get the meaning of
Mm-hmm.
what the hieroglyphs are saying.
Mm-hmm.
Your spiritual vision being trained through the oracle practice allows you to bring to life the message that's in the hieroglyphs,
Right. Okay. Right.
right? So when you start recognizing the tarot cards in real time while you driving down the street, that's your subconscious mind now calibrating your conscious mind to read everything you see as you go along as a tarot card.
Mm-hmm. That's just like when
Now,
you read people's energies and basically like when you can read somebody and just tell like their vibe is off or whatever.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the good thing about the tarot read that's different than just knowing they vibe is off, the things that surround the person is going to tell you exactly why they vibe is off and exactly why you need to avoid them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the layout of the cards is just being played out in real time among the average people.
Mm-hmm.
They don't see it because they are taught that the oracle reading is evil.
Right.
But reading the oracles is not even the goal. You read the oracles to tune your intuition so that you can read what Mother Nature needs you to know in order for you to effectuate change on earth as one of the gods that walk the earth.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not prepared to read the messages of Mother Nature as you walk through life and make the adjustments that she tell you to make, then you still low vibrational frequency. You haven't reached what we call God form yet.
Mm-hmm.
But we all got a training program in our book of life. And this is how we know when we look back on our life, we can read our book of life by understanding the things that we went through that was difficult was the test. But everything on the test was in the practice.
Mm-hmm.
But because it was practice, it was made easier because it was spread out.
Right. That's when you get
Right?
nervous when it's the real deal. You like, hold on, wait.
Right.
It's
So
game
that's
day.
when you find yourself in adverse conditions saying, how the fuck I get here?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I was in the joint looking at the brick walls talking about how in the fuck I end up in some shit like this?
Not listening.
You know, that's not my God form.
Yeah.
My God form, I wouldn't be able to tolerate it. In my God form, I would be a drapetomaniac. You know what that is, right?
I was about to ask you what is that?
So drapetomania was the condition that they said that the so-called slave had when they kept trying to run away from captivity.
Mm-hmm.
So they said they were drapetomaniacs. They were runaway
Oh, they had to make a
from.
label. They had to make a label for something that was an
Oh yeah,
adverse
yeah.
effect.
They got so much shit. I was dying laughing. I'm like, you actually. And then they got a remedy, like for what do you do for the
Of
drapetomaniac to make them
course.
stop running away?
Yeah,
They
make
got
the
a
disease
remedy,
and make the what's it called? The
the cure.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So.
And be the only one that got it. That's the coldest dealer in the game. The psyop dealer.
Yeah, I'm going through looking, trying to see if okay. I'm looking here and see if I can find another question.
Okay. I'll shuffle. That's crazy though. Like, um, I first was introduced to you through Little Big Sis Imani, the Hood Healer. And it was just so much information, just information, spirit, information.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and then she was talking about she's a truth teller, and people get on her so much because it's hard for them to come out of their mind and conceptualize the message that spirit's bringing to them. And a lot of times, like we find comfort in being the victim to something, being victim to disease, circumstance, and all of these different things instead of being the victor to it and figuring out, what the cause was and what the solution is. So when she would talk about things like, you don't suffer from depression, you don't suffer from endometriosis, like some things are chemical, yes, but a lot of things are like built up off of what we do. And so we have to stop screaming victim to the shit that we create in our own life. Because that's that mentality. That's the mentality that they put on us to take a hold of us. And now we finding pride in that victim mentality, talking about, twerk for justice and do this and do that instead of actually doing the shit that equates to the change.
One of the things that we are taught with this slave system narrative that they've been pushing is that we were perpetual victims,
Yes.
and therefore all we gonna ever be is victims.
Victimized.
So if you look at our complaints, it's not that they not accurate.
Right.
Right? They is killing us in the street. The
Mm-hmm.
police is shooting down our people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They are kidnapping our kids, using them for food products, sex toys, and for
Organs.
drugs. Right? Organ harvesting. This is all true. But the thing about it is, even though it's true, nobody's trying to stop it. Everybody wants to whine about it.
Right.
So if you're not gonna do anything to stop it, what the fuck is you whining for?
And stopping it it starts internally. Stopping it really starts with you changing yourself and your perception and what you do and what you do it for.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just running up in the streets all the time, definitely, but you know what I'm saying? You definitely got to start with your own perception.
Yeah. So instead of just laying there to be a victim, suffering from learned helplessness, say, wait a minute, motherfucker. Stop kicking me while I'm down. Get your motherfucking foot off my neck before I move and break your whole goddamn leg out of the socket and beat you to death with that motherfucker. Did, I'm not the Martin Luther King, we shall
I
overcome.
see. Well,
That's that.
well, not even that.
I'm the
I believe I agree with you. I think there is a time when war is war, but also, you know what I'm saying? Like war looks like community. War looks like you getting your shit in order so that you're not lazy no more. You at least grow on your own food, or if you your own food, and if you're not, you protecting the old lady down the street who knows how to grow food. You protecting the other woman or the other man's and his family because they have this and you can do that. Like all that separate shit, all that rah, you using it for the wrong things. And also when it's time to do that call, when it's time to move forward, have your ducks in a row, like Unc said.
Yeah, it goes back to what I said earlier about me positioning myself to do this work where I cushion myself where I cannot fall in any direction.
Right.
Everything that I'm doing, I set it up before I walked away from the system where I can navigate through their system without being part of
I saw somebody just say deer don't hide. Do you know how to hunt? I know some of y'all do. I know some of y'all in the backwoods, y'all have that innate ability. But here in Cali, here in the cities, like who knows how to hunt? Who knows how to start a fire? Who knows how to forage? Who knows what herbs and medicine are going to heal what? Who knows Little Big Sis was spitting game? Who knows CPR? Who knows basic first aid? Who knows these things? Because when you're talking about you want to go out there, you're not prepared. After that, then what?
it.
Then
Yeah.
what? Because when it's chaos in the streets, what you gonna do? Be in survival mode and for yourself, and that's not the way that you win.
Well, when you're in survival mode, that's desperation.
Exactly.
And under desperation, you're going to make tactical errors because with the desperations, it's going to cause mistakes to be made.
You're thinking
The,
irrationally.
right. So the mistake will surface as a tactical error that'll put you in an adverse position, right? But sometimes what look like a tactical error is a only option scenario where you have no other way to play this shit but to play the hand you dealt,
Right.
right? So that's the key part to understanding that we all going through this shit on different levels in different directions in different ways. And some of us had it hard as fuck.
Right.
And if right is right and wrong is wrong, the ones that had it the hardest need some relief now, right?
But
They
you know,
they
when you
they
go
pay their dues to
mhm.
get their free.
But when you go into retirement, you have to set yourself up properly. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? When you about to go on vacay, you prepare for vacation. You buying your
Yeah.
fits for each day, for
But
dinner,
see,
for the beach.
the biggest problem right now is it's a slow fall in building, and they don't really think that this big motherfucker falling because it was such a huge machine,
Right.
right? So it looked like it's falling in slow motion, but in real time, that motherfucker coming down.
Yeah. I hope not, but I hope not, but you know.
Well, part of what I wanted to do for Taj was to create a condition where he can retire and he no longer has to teach for those that much time. He can do it as a leisurely pursuit now when he sit around and have conversations with other people from the struggle, and then we can get to watch it like they watch their late night TV show.
Hmm.
Right. So, I like, can you imagine just being able to turn your TV on and see a casual conversation on civics between Taj and Malachi York,
No.
or say Taj and Farrakhan? Just a cordial conversation about the mechanics of government and the understanding of waking up people, or any subject that y'all throw out there.
Right.
right? To see these elders to not at their job done, we got to go to a different level, but to be able to draw from their study in the years of teaching, right? We can benefit so much more by um, seeing a casual conversation in the living room setting between um, Larry Hoover and H. Rap Brown, right? Can you imagine just the casual conversation they would have and the value that add to our community,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we need to understand the struggle that we've been through. And most of the people don't have a very keen perception of protracted struggle, what it means, and how it takes for us to overcome it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
always been
Steve
talked
Coakley was the
about.
truth. I wish Steve Coakley was still around and give us some more of them jewels he used to be dropping.
Who was that?
You remember him? Remember Steve Coakley from Chicago?
Mm-mm. I don't even know.
Well, he was the one who was teaching us about the Black Boule.
No, I have to look
Right.
him up.
Yeah. He didn't know that he was talking about the JDL when he was talking about them Negroes. He didn't know he was talking about them motherfuckers like that. He thought he was talking about pale skinned Europeans and the Negroes that worked for them.
Mm,
He didn't know he was dragging out the motherfuckers that was hiding behind the scenes in the secret societies doing the dirt. And he was putting them in the front, letting everybody see what these Negroes look like.
mm.
And they couldn't have that.
Hold on, I need to write his name down. Are you saving this live?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll go back. I'll just say,
Yeah.
I need this name. Hold on.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
But it's like part of it, like the fraternities and sororities and the universities and colleges,
Mm-hmm.
right? They not all there to manufacture motherfuckers that work for the system,
Mm-hmm.
right? They really there for us to be able to have bonds of affection between us off brotherhood through similar circumstances of struggle. So when you go through the hazing period, this is when you build in the bond with the brothers of your order.
In the trust, okay.
Yeah,
But it got infiltrated then.
yeah. All of the secret societies got infiltrated.
Yeah.
Point of entry was 32 degrees Scottish Rite.
Mm. Man, you know why education is so important? Because, or at least just being able to comprehend and pick up a book and just get what's being put down in the book is because you're dropping so many gems and so much knowledge that I know I'm missing. Like, the games, are you trying to get all the apples? I'm like, you know what? It's divine. Like, whoever it's meant for is going to fall into the lap and the ears of the babes. So it's okay.
Mhm. That's one of the things, like, I didn't know when I was putting this puzzle together that it was going to play out like this.
Yeah.
Nobody don't understand the level of fucked up I was to find out that some motherfuckers that looked it like us was behind this shit the whole time. That was the most traumatic shit I ever experienced in my life.
Yeah, because I mean this whole time you're told that your enemy, especially for Aboriginal, black men and women, your enemy is the white man. Your enemy is the white man. And
Mhm.
so you're told that
And
really all
that's
your
a
life
half
and
truth
through
too.
generations.
Hey, look, that's a half truth too.
There is some truth
Because
of like
the enemy is the white man, but the white man ain't white.
exactly.
That's the half of the truth that ain't been told.
See, so my thing that I'm coming into at this moment is like we perceive white as a complexion, and then we also look at it as a race of people. And we know that the black woman and the black man can give birth to an array of colors, right? So in knowing
Hmm.
that, then okay, I have to accept the truth that if we're talking scientifically, then the makeup of the black woman and the black man is God, because that's what gives birth to all the people. But when we're talking about living on a planet, and when you talk about giving birth and then dropping off, little bodies everywhere, they adapt to the environment. So their skin changes, their, everything changes about the people. And like in my heart of hearts, I feel like it's so much about character at this point, because there's a lot of truths have been lost in the history of oppression that we're taught. And also we picked up so many prejudice that we did the work of the enemy. So yeah, there was segregation, and there is racism, but that's because it was a game of telephone, and somebody whispered something in somebody's ear and you picked it up as a trait and as a personality. And I feel like it's really about character now, because we think that the enemy is just a particular set of people, when really it's a conglomerate that came together working for, the man or the thing that comes from another being.
Right. But that goes back to they come just like we come in our shades, they come in our shades. The ones that's working against us, they come in all shades. But the ones that's helping us come in all shades.
Right. That's
Right?
why that discernment is key, so you can discern the spirit and the character of somebody.
Right. And then you get to read the person for who they is, as opposed to following the dogmatic pursuit of what has been weaponized against us. Racism is a weapon. It's one of the most subtle weapons, because it's done under the pretense of the caste system,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is a governmental construct, right? So all of that shit is to be weaponized against us. They weaponized our spirituality and gave us religion as a weapon, right? They weaponize our understanding of law or lack thereof. They weaponized our ignorance in order to use it against us.
Right.
So everything been weaponized against us. The classism, racism, sexism, all them isms, the religions, the social factors that's been set up as an illusion to give the appearance of legitimacy.
Right.
Right? Now that shit over with. Because the mission that we own now is to walk through things and try to see it for what it is, so we can tell the ones who don't see it what they going into.
How do you know what to say and what not to say? Because I do, like, I know that spirit guides you too, because spirit will, I've had that where it's like, be quiet. But then,
Mm-hmm.
like, I guess I answer my own question, but because sometimes
But
it's like, I don't know if
you have you have clues as to what to say and when to speak up. A good example is I just took my dog for a late walk, later than normal. I just got the urge. I didn't know why, right? So on the walk, I started smoking the blunt, and I'm cool all the way till I get close to my uh, dock that I sit on to get my downloads, right? So by me smoking the blunt, all of a sudden I get this sour taste in my mouth, right? Now, what am I thinking about was this birth certificate right here. And I was thinking about saving the birth certificate to put in the public domain until like the weekend. Big Mama said, spit that shit up. So it comes across as a physiological response, what I'm thinking, and the sudden hit to the body to perform the function, and there's nothing coming up.
mm,
Right? The only thing that's coming up is froth.
mm-hmm.
Right? So, and then they tell me, okay, Big Mama say, spit that shit up. Right? And I gotta say it out loud or it won't stop.
Mm.
Right? So while I'm sitting here going through this gag and trying to catch my breath and spitting. If I don't say spit that shit up out loud, it won't stop. I'll be doing that shit nonstop until I say it.
Oh my gosh.
And then that's how I know whatever I was thinking about, she said, put that shit out there.
Okay.
Right. So then I come in and I respond by giving the information she told me to give. Spit that shit up.
Okay. It's, I'm smiling because it's like you got it. Sometimes, like when God tells you something, it's like, for real? Like, you want me to say what? You know what they about to say about me when I say this? You know.
But Big Mama got a foul mouth sometimes.
Yeah.
She make my deal look. She don't make my deal look like she ain't saying nothing.
Right.
Cause Big Mama like to cuss.
It's nothing like a good cuss word sometimes. It bring the whole sentence together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you want to flip a couple cards on something?
Sure, go ahead. I'm ready.
Let me see if I got something in here we can ask about.
Okay, so y'all know those rope.
Oh, that's a good question.
Go ahead.
All right. So the question or the query for the cards is, what? No, that's not a good question. The structure of the question is important.
The structure of the question is important.
So the signs we're looking for is the raising of the matriarch. How would you put that in the question format?
Hey,
You can read it.
say it one more time.
We trying to discover the information on when will the matriarch rise?
Hmm.
Right. That's the flip of the system.
That's the flip of the system. Well, okay, I took that question in two ways, like literally and figuratively. So, I took it figuratively when you said it's the flip of the system, but the system is already flipping on its head over and over and over and
Right.
over again. So
Right.
now what spirit is calling for the matriarchs to do the feminine is to come into your feminine segment energy. So segment is all about transformation and taking all of who you are in healing. You have to operate. You have to operate in your optimal level. And I know I said feminine, but I do mean like everybody, because really it's really time to this answer kind of has different levels to it. It's really time to get right within yourself and align with spirit and align with, to really get your heart light. I don't know if that makes sense to you, to really like, when Brandy or Moesha, she had a day, her day, she had something happen. She went and she wrote in her diary to release that. So there's a lot of like healing that needs to happen first, but the system is already flipping. So the question is, how are you preparing for the flip? Because
And then raise the card up again.
let me pull it up. Hold on one second. And it's number 7.
Okay. All right. Now behind Sekhmet, this is what looks like a cape flying in the wind is red. You
Mm-hmm.
see it?
And on the bottom it says transformation, fierce, compassion, healer.
Right. And she's coming in through the clouds on 3 cobras. Right?
Right.
Now, if you look at the bottom, you see what we call lotus flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's 3, 6, it's 9 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? 9 is completion. Lotus flower represents the crown chakra.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So to the finish is coming in with behind the three cobras. The cobra is the caduceus, or it's the symbol for wisdom. And the three cobras is representative of wisdom from left hand, right hand, and the straight bump.
Mm-hmm.
Mother line, father line, and what you learned on your own. Right? It's all in agreement. Now, Sekhmet brings in fire energy. Because the legend of Sekhmet is that she was in such a rage that they had to mix that blood with the alcohol to get her drunk before they can calm her down.
Mm.
Right? And she came here by leave of Osiris, the father, for the purpose of cleaning the land. She came down to basically slaughter the infidels.
Mm.
So the Sekhmet energy is high priestess fire energy, chaotic but under control. Right? It's the top tier of fire energy. So this is what they mean when they say fire from heaven.
Mm.
They're talking about Sekhmet. Now, Sekhmet represents the daughter of the father who is in the rage about the death of the father, which Set murdered Osiris. Right? So Sekhmet comes to aid her brother Horus in the revenge of the death of the father.
Mm.
Right? So now the brother might not know she there, or she might not know he there, but both of those energies is converging metaphysically to cleanse the family line.
Mm-hmm.
So the fire energy is coming from heaven. As you see in the card, Sekhmet is coming from the skies, and she ain't happy because her mouth is in a rage.
Mm.
Right? So she's coming to bring that fiery cleansing energy. Yesterday, the Vatican, Rome was on fire.
Mm.
Right? That's called a knockback. So we connecting something that happened in the physical world to the description that the card is expressing as we break down the symbolism of the card. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now the clouds behind are not white, they baby blue.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So baby blue represents the blue baby or the baby boy that came from daddy's baby boy. Right? Daddy baby boy is boy blue. Right? And mama's baby boy is the red boy,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the red line is the mother line, is the blood inheritance
Mm.
that comes on the mother line, where the blue line is the father line, where the upright man can rule if he have the blue blood of the father, the noble trait.
Mm.
Right? All of this being expressed from Sekhmet on her way, that means that this shit is coming to an end. Because Sekhmet energy is not a jovial
No.
and what we call go along to get along ass energy.
That's when it say transformational is in transformation, it's like you gotta knock a building down to rubble in order to build something new.
So it's the code of the phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
The transformation comes in the burning it to his ashes.
Mm-hmm.
When you burn something to his ashes, that's called the least common denominator. Why? Because no matter what you burn the ash, all of the ash is going to turn out to be carbon. I don't care where you burn that shit at. It's
Mm.
going to turn into carbon.
And carbon, I want to say I'm not knowing how to put it and ask this question, but carbon is like the God molecule.
So carbon in death is called ash.
Mm-hmm.
Carbon in its living organic substance in the ground is called oil,
Okay.
but in your skin is called melanin,
Okay.
right? But in its highest state, it's called ether. And it's no longer 666 now. As ether is 999. On the ground, it's 666.
But
In the sky or in the above,
okay.
the ether is 999. So they mirror each other.
And can I ask a question? And the sky is the mother,
Mother Earth, Father Sky.
Mother Earth, Father Sky. But what about the cosmos then?
That's the great mother.
That's the great mother.
That's Big Mama.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And who and the mother of the red brother is Mama Earth or Big Mama?
Right.
Mama Earth.
So Mother Earth being Big Red, right? Or gives birth to the redhead stepchild.
Mm,
They call him a redhead stepchild because he was parthogenic in his origin.
right.
So whoever he got for a daddy, he's still a stepchild.
That's why he's so hateful.
Right. But he really ain't.
He really not
He, re-
he really not hateful or he really not the stepchild.
he really not hateful.
Well, he's hurt.
But no matter who daddy is, he gonna always be the stepchild.
Right. You know what somebody
Because
they say when somebody hates you, they really love you.
that's a thin line. I mean that it's the flip side of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of energy that somebody put in to hating you, they can put 1/5 of that energy into loving you and change their whole life around.
Change the game.
Yeah.
Change the game. Okay, now I'm nervous. I'm like, I'm not doing it right.
Oh,
It's
you did. It's just going into more detail than where
yeah,
you were.
yes,
Because like if you know the whole story of the segment when you pull that card, it gives you more details to add to what you're seeing.
right. That's why studying and somebody said information has to be learned. His name is He is Blanchard on IG. I follow him. I love him. He said information has to be learned. Some information is caught in your DNA, but you also have to learn how to decipher it. So it's the same thing.
Hmm. Well, learning, you still got to digest what you consume. Whether you consume it mentally or physically, you still got to digest it in order for you to be able to utilize it.
Mm,
So, digesting mental information, your brain just have to put everything where it go, and you have to allow yourself what you call a downtime. While your brain do that, you need to be putting cucumbers on your motherfucking eye, laying under a motherfucking what you call them things, a weighted blanket while you getting motherfucking massage on your motherfucking toes or something.
recalibrating and rejuvenating.
Yeah. So that's when I used to read a lot. I used to get to a point where I couldn't read no more. It would be going in like blah 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 blah.
That's how it gets when I read
So
myself. Like, because you know
right,
you can't really read yourself, but I'll be able to do a little bit, and then if I keep going, it's just like no.
yeah. So when it started doing that, I don't read nothing. I just listen to music and lay back.
Mm,
Cause I mean that I gotta have a chance to put this information somewhere in my brain if I ever want to use it in the future.
right, and that's like writing music. Sometimes you know people think they have writer block, but I think it was Erica Badu that said you have to live in order to download something new. Like you got to actually
Yeah.
do something else.
Well, if you listen to how Biggie used to write, he would do something and he wouldn't even be focused on the song. But while he was doing what he doing, the song would come to him,
Mm.
right? And then he'll go in there and spit the song.
That's like
He already know it.
yeah, that's like kind of like me. Because when I try to write a song, it's harder, but I can freestyle it way easier than I can write it. But it's just catching it. So, you know, catching it the first time it come out.
Hmm.
That's the only thing.
You gonna put another one?
Yeah, I'm trying to find my tarot cards because these are oracle cards. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find it.
Look, when the imposters get drug out, it's gonna be so much evidence to prove that they the imposters that they won't be able to run from it.
We just have to not be in denial when things come to the surface. That's all.
That's a pretty good question. Somebody said for the tarot question asked, how would the children respond or accept their new existence as we evolve in the future?
Hmm. So I'm gonna shuffle. How will the children respond? What was it? How will the children respond to the environment in the future? Their existence.
How will how will the children respond or accept their new existence as we evolve into the future?
So the children are only going to accept it as far as you accept it. So a child can only go as far as you prepare them for. And so how are we as the elders, because I'm an elder to my children, and Mr. Hayes is an elder to me, and so forth and so forth. So like how are we going to respond to it is the first um is the first thing that's coming to mind. um you know, like, you know how like when you have your children and they keep on asking you a whole bunch of questions and you just want like some peace and quiet, and you be like, I don't know, dang. Like, I'm using that as an example to say that through this transition, you're gonna have to, us as parents or as elders to children, whether it be auntie, uncle, brother, cousin, you know, because sometimes you're older, we have to provide grace and security for the children, because honestly, they can only accept what we accept, and they can only live comfortably if we create a comfortable environment. And so, you know, I'm gonna get my laptop real quick. But compassion, compassion is something that a lot of us didn't have as children. We didn't receive a lot of compassion or maybe patience. And so,
Both.
you know, and so
Mm.
as we move through this new period, you know, a lot of times when you're an adult and you're learning stuff, it's hard for you to grant patience and compassion to another person when you're trying to figure it out. So that's why when you hear people talk about preparation, it's because preparation, opportunity meets preparation, or you know, preparation meets opportunity. You can only go as far as you prepare. So when we think about children in a state of like, you know, lack or just, you know, I think people are wondering if there's going to be children on the street and crying and laid out and things of that nature. It's only going to be as far as you prepare for. It's only going to be as good or bad as you prepare for. And so when you hear people talk about um, unity or community, it's because those things encourage growth and protection and family. Like
Yeah.
when you think about what is going to be the best situation and circumstance for my child or children in the higher timelines, those are all the things that you're supposed to be preparing for. Literally. Like I was thinking about washing clothes in my tub because I wanted to save money, but I was like, you know what, low key, like I might need to learn how to really like soak some clothes and scrub them on a washboard. Let me buy them while they're available. Or let me make one. Shit, somebody got metal somewhere, a scrap metal place down the street. Weld something together. Do you know how to weld something together? How are you preparing for the children? And if we're moving in a space of like desperation, you trying to get to a grocery store to get the last bag of rice, but really somebody has 3 bags of rice and somebody else has 7 bags of beans and somebody else has a well or water. It's like if you come together with your
You got a meal.
resources, you got a plate.
Yeah. You know, you bring about the children where they used to talk to children like they didn't have any emotional barometer.
None.
Call them the foulest of names. These be the parents,
And for your
right?
generation, like, so when I think about my parents, I think about their parents and so forth and so forth. And I think about the environment that they grew up in. Your parents, what, give me a year. What was they dealing with? Segregation or past that? What was they dealing
Both of my parents, my father was born in 35. My mom was born in 33. I mean 39.
with? Okay.
So they grew up 40s, 50s. They was teenagers in the 50s.
Okay.
Going into the 60s, they was in their 20s. So they lived through that bullshit.
You know what I'm saying? And so their parents were
But
raising them how to survive. They didn't have time to a lot. Well, I won't say they didn't have time, but I think that sometimes parents thought that I can't make you soft. I got to make you hard for this world. And so then your parents,
well, that's what Big Mama be doing. But even when Big Mama talk harsh to you, it's certain stuff that she will not say to a child.
definitely no. I'm not saying it's acceptable at all because
Hmm.
children don't know. You know how people say you don't know what you don't know? Children really don't know. You've been here for 35, 40, 70 years and your ass still don't know. So you want
Yeah.
to yell at a baby for doing something that babies do, toddlers do, children do, adolescents do, teenagers do. That don't make sense. You are the one supposed to teach them. And we have children before we even have anything to teach.
Hmm. One of the tools that I use to teach my son, like when he would do something, I would say, is that age appropriate
Mm-hmm.
for a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, so now at his level, how do he understand that? What he did? How was he perceiving it? So then now I gotta talk to him. Like, why did you do that? I don't know. What was you thinking about? I don't know. Mm. So you have to figure out a way of talking to them where they don't clam up with the I don't know,
Right. They have to feel safe.
right? So the enthusiasm in my voice to get him to explain to me what he was thinking, right? And the angle in which I approach it. I never thought to do that. What made you think about that? Oh, Dad, I was just doing this and I figured it'll fit in there like this. And so now you can see that it came from an innocent place. You don't have to punish that child
Right. Right.
because you know how to communicate with them now.
Right.
Where when we was coming up, you little nappy head badass motherfucker, get your motherfucking ass in here before I stick my foot up your ass and slow walk you. A motherfucker, I'll motherfucking whoop a mud hole in your ass and walk it dry. Right? What in the fuck is
Immediate
all that?
immediate aggression. It was like there was
Yeah, like what the fuck is all that shit?
immediate consequence. And that's why a lot of people are liars now because you were a child that never got grace. You never got
Yeah,
grace to be a child, and so you have to think of an answer. And some of y'all like started thinking of answers that was just the best service. So you didn't either got out the trouble or you figured out like if I lie about it, they don't know I won't get my ass whooped. If I lie about it, I won't get punished. And those type of behaviors with our children create personality traits that you don't want your children to have. You want them to be able to think for themselves, express themselves with confidence. And we have a bad habit of like, I guess, oppressing our children. We have a bad habit of pushing them down, just for being who they are instead of allowing them to blossom and grow.
Right. So, like, every day I give my son a bath. When he getting out the bathtub and I'm drying him off, we go over his mantra. I started when he was like 7 months old.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be drying him off and I'd be like, I look good, I feel good, I smell good, I do good, and I be good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but when I first started, I had him say his name. I'm Jeremy. I look good. You know how you feel when you first get out the shower?
You feel so
That
fresh and
relief,
clean.
right?
Ooh.
So to anchor the mantra to that feeling was the goal.
Mm. I love that.
So now he will automatically know that anytime he's under stress and he need a break for a minute, go take a shower. And when you get out the shower, you're gonna look good,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna smell good, you're gonna feel good. That's gonna make you able to do good, and that's how you be good,
Yeah, it's
right?
gonna
You automatically know that. So when it comes to a domestic situation with his girlfriend, the first thing ain't to make her look like motherfucking Martin after he fought Tommy Hearns. His first thing is, uh,
be.
oh shit, I think I need to go take a shower.
Let me get this
I,
off of me real quick.
right, he'll have an automatic reset mechanism at his disposal.
Yeah.
Whether it's a bath or a shower, it don't matter.
Even if it's
His
just
re-
conceptualizing and remembering that sensation and that feeling of that cleanse of how it feels to be brand new.
right. And these become the things that they didn't want us to continuously teach our children,
Right.
right? But when you look at the children of the smartest people, then the children of the smartest people get different types of interaction with the parent. The most frustrated people are the ones who haven't developed mentally.
And also the ones that were ill prepared.
Yeah.
We always say that there's not a right way to do things, but I think there's an order. There's an order to
Well,
things.
and that's one of the things about humans, we're supposed to share information, right? I understand conditions and the problem that's taking place. But before I can share the information to the people, I have to put certain things at play to start the ball rolling on us moving back into our positions,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't have time to teach it um yet, but as it all turn around, as long as I initiated what needed to be initiated for us to win, now I can go around and tell y'all this is what's going on. This is where we at. This is what I see.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So I wanted to read the definition of compassion. It said sympathetic consciousness of others' distress together with a desire to alleviate it. And I love that because it was like, when we talk about our children, it's like, how do you want to make sure that they don't have anything to worry about, anything to fear, anything to want for? And that's like the things that we need to focus on, either really individually, because if we all individually are prepared, then as a community, we all have.
I want certain stuff. I want my children to want for it to the point where they feel that they can work for it and they can earn what it is that they don't have that they want. And that's gonna teach them two lessons. Ain't nobody better than you, but you ain't better than nobody else. If you see something that you really want, it's gonna require you to perform or to do certain efforts in order to attain that. If you just want a motherfucker to pass you something because of who you is, then you in the wrong house. You better take your ass down the street. And that house of entitlement, yeah, they trading titles on that motherfucker on a regular basis.
That's a good one. You got all the good stuff.
So yeah. So so I don't want my children to be suffering with poverty, but I also don't want stuff so easy where they don't have no grit,
Hmm.
where they can't bounce back from shit. These the softest motherfuckers I ever could imagine to be on earth right now in this time. When we grew up, we used to get ass whoopings and whoop ass.
But you know, it's that tablet. It's that tablet. It's that phone. It's those video games that you go that we, guilty as charged. Tell them to go play on so we can have a moment instead of engaging with them. They're not outside having life experience with each other and interactions with each other. So we have to we have to start doing that again. Like with my sons, when they come over, they get annoyed with me, but we're going to play a board game. And I know it seems real simple and like I'm not really teaching them life, but it's just even those interactions that build character and kind of build resolve and strategy. Just, something simple. It's
Look, when you sit them down to the board game next time,
mhm.
explain this to them. Life got rules, and ain't nobody gonna teach them to you.
See, and that's the thing that I feel like.
Hold on. These board games is a game with a set of rules that can apply somewhere else in life later on if you learn the rules to this game. You practice it so that you understand how this game works. So when you see it play out in real life, you know how to win that game in real life. So you think we playing board games, but really I'm giving you tools to go in to the world and come out successful.
Mm,
This is why I'm teaching you how to play Monopoly because it's always a motherfucker gonna try to monopolize on everything you do. So you need to be able to see the game before you ever learn how to play the game in business. So we teach you to play it in a board game,
right.
right? And the more board games that you learn as a child, the more tools you have to navigate life with the through the path of least resistance, meaning not getting beat to death by life.
Right. Even like with Connect Four, like just teaching them to slow down and look at what the play is going to be, trying to have like predictive, thought process or programming in a sense. Like what is this person's strategy? That alone is a tool for life.
Yeah. See, like I like to tell my son about stories about people like Attila the Hun and Genghis Khan. They saying once upon a time it was this guy named Attila, and I'll go into like leadership strategies of Attila the Hun
Mhm.
to share with him little things that can be given to him in story format at an early age that will sink into um, his mind to the point where it'll become part of his original program.
Mhm.
So now he's a natural born strategist because he already know about Attila the Hun, Genghis Khan, Hannibal, Muhammad Ahmed, you know what I'm saying, Shaka Zulu. He know about the great strategists of history at an early age because dad gave them to him as little stories to tell him while we was on our drive to go fishing.
Right. And he's gonna remember all of that information too. Like, we have to get back to storytelling, like, and really also like we have to get back to listening to the elders when they speak and not really, and not ignoring them or not being like, oh, you know, I don't really rock with that elder because they look this way or that way. Like when
Right. Well, they weaponized the age. They created ageism
that too.
to make the youth think that the older people, oh, that old motherfucker don't know nothing. And the youth, and now the old people feel about the youth.
Let's
Somebody need
say,
to go do something with them little wild ass motherfuckers. The disconnect come in because when, like I said the other day, I was telling the story about at Big Mama house. You know, she got uncles that still stay there, old as hell. Probably left, got married, divorced, came back home to Big Mama house, right? But when it's time for the family to pass out the food, they have a harvest festival, which turns out to be a family reunion.
hmm,
All of the women that's part of the cooking committee, they go straight to the kitchen.
hmm,
All of the ones that's in charge with setting up the table and shit, they go straight to the dining room. Don't nobody got to tell them when they get out the car, they ain't seen each other in 5 years. They know exactly where to go,
right.
right? Because they done been to Big Mama house, they know how shit run, right? If you don't know what to do, go ask your Aunt Ruby. She gonna send you down there to your Uncle Cleve, and he gonna take y'all where they cleaning the fish at and show y'all how to make sure y'all know how to clean some fish when y'all come back to Big Mama house next year, right? So they use the family members to teach the history of the family around family functions. That's why they don't want us gathering. They don't want our families having family reunions. They discourage it because as soon as we figure out enough of us in one family, we ain't came on no goddamn boat. One of these niggas gonna say, "Hey, y'all contract is up. The date was this. We came back for every fucking thing you son of a bitches took, plus motherfucking interest and tax, and you have to go now."
Hmm.
And that's exactly what happened. Because since we didn't have a family reunion, I had to go live with different family members in order to get that part of the family's piece to the puzzle to put the family back together.
Hmm.
So I went to stay with members of both sides of the family, my mama's side and my daddy's side. They all, I'm the most loved, most respected, or the most despised and most rejected.
Hmm.
So since I'm the most loved and respected out of all of the motherfucking despised and rejected, that make me be the black sheep out of all of the black sheep that the black sheep love the most. And that's how you get to be a chief on the land.
But that's the other thing is like, because, okay, so how can I put this in words? We have to have enough humility to be able to see our elders and respect them as such, because
Yeah,
people are appointed for a reason in the season, and we have to you have to respect that. You have to respect your position and play your position, and everybody's not a chief. Some of us are Indians, and you got to be okay with that, and you got to knock that
yeah,
jealousy out the window. And for anybody who doesn't have that big mama or that family to go to, then you got to start looking for those role models and elders to have that family reunion with.
yeah. And a lot of us hold on to childhood grudges that if you was an adult, you would have made a similar decision yourself,
Hmm.
all things being considered. But people hold on to the childhood grudges.
Hmm.
Some of them, like, I don't blame a molested child for never forgiving their molester. I ain't gonna never tell them to do that. But for the kid that got the ass whooped for being a little badass kid, you probably didn't get enough ass whoopings. That's probably why you ended up where I was at.
Hmm.
I ain't got no motherfucking sympathy for that shit. It's part of life.
But that's where accountability comes in, because you have to be able to say where you did wrong and where you did right, where you fell short and where you succeeded, or exceeded. But you have to
Right,
follow
and
that.
that's the part of shadow work that everybody fear. Because when they realize that they ain't no better than you, then they trying to put you down. That means that they really was putting themselves down the whole time.
Right. And that's what I was talking about earlier when I was like, giving the analogy of Moesha, like in doing that healing work. When we talk about the flipping, that healing work is important because all of that muck, it fucks with your decision making skills.
Hmm.
So you got to do the shadow work. You can't run from it
Yeah.
because really you're
But
running from the light when you run from the shadow work.
don't nobody want to say, look, we drive up to the stop sign at the same time. Motherfucker scream out the window, stupid motherfucker. Right? We both just pulled up to the fucking stop sign. And we both stopped. Who is really the stupid motherfucker? Why do I even need to respond at that point? He just proved that he was the one who was really the stupid motherfucker.
Yeah.
He was mad because he wanted to run the stop sign, but when he seen me stopping at the stop sign, he knew he couldn't run it because it's a possibility I might run it.
Hmm.
So now he got to stop. And since we both stopping, it's my fault that he had to stop when he wanted to run the stop sign. So his natural presumption is that I'm the stupid motherfucker when he's the stupid motherfucker for being mad because he had to stop at a stop sign.
Right.
You knew it was a stop sign there before you got there,
He forgot the
motherfucker.
rules of the engagement. He wanted to ignore them. You can't ignore the rules. In nature, when you ignore the rules, there's two things: life or death. In nature, when an animal ignores the rule of the kingdom, it's a consequence. Animals in nature, I love so much because they live
Hey,
life
look,
in the natural way that life is supposed to be lived.
I'm about to say some racist ass shit. But
No.
this the truest shit a motherfucker could say. All you gotta do is watch these white people. He's just a little cute grizzly bear, only 400 pounds. Let me hug him. He's wild. He's never seen humans before. I know I can hug this motherfucker. Nigga, you gonna go sit your ass down somewhere?
Look.
What's that, 10 swords?
Yeah, fear is gonna kill your ass. No.
Hell yeah. Uh, hey, look, that's a confirmation like a
That's
motherfucker.
funny. Spirit is funny. Spirit is funny. Spirit got jokes. And that's why I think sometimes we lose compassion because Spirit got a sense of humor. And that's why we laugh at a lot of things that are painful. But we gotta reel that in because like maybe I don't know where that started, but that lack of compassion, man, it creates so much other shit because you laugh at somebody going through some pain and now they giving you the evil eye.
Hmm. But the lack of compassion was taught to us.
Right.
It took harsh circumstances with no relief in order to make us not care what your struggle was. That means that they had to stop us from helping each other overcome the struggle to build a barrier between us.
Right.
You seen me struggling trying to change the flat tire and you kept going,
Right.
right? You know what you saw, you know what you felt by keep going, and you ignored all that shit in order to not offer aid and assistance, right? So when you see me again and you changing your flat, I remember when you drove past me.
Right. But see, the fucked up part, like you said earlier, is like when you found out that the people who did us dirty look just like us, it's like we're all mad at each other, thinking that it was each other and really it was them. Like
The
you
whole
said, the
time.
separation the whole
Yeah.
time. And they are banking on the fact that we'll have that prejudice and separation in our minds so deep that we'll knock each other off. Then it can release the robots.
So when you review history, look at the public display, right? when you look at the images from parades of the UNIA and the activities of the MSTA in 1920s, you see all our faces. We all hanging out of windows and shit. We knew who we was, but we didn't know what to do about it.
Hmm.
Right? Now, when you get in the 50s and we start talking Rosa Parks, um, refusing to get up on the bus, marching with King, you see a sea of pale faces right in there with brown faces. When you go back and research all of the uprisings, you see that all of the ones that look like us, Gabriel Prosser, Denmark Vesey, etc., was egged on by a pale-skinned European to get their freedom back. And one of them, I think it was Gabriel Prosser, had the quartermaster general who had access to the armory, bringing him the key to the armory to arm the people to fight against the rebellion. I mean, against the invader. Then some nigga told the enemy, told on the pale face, and told on Gabriel Prosser. It's in the books. It's not a secret.
A sellout.
Yeah. Every single one of those attempts where that we were being egged to get out of this condition by pale faces, we was betrayed by melanated, woolly-haired faces.
Hmm.
All of the ones on record. The only one that wasn't betrayed immediately was Toussaint. When they murdered him, that's when they infiltrated.
Hmm. That was a stronghold.
Right. And now they don't want to close the conjure because that means that they lose all power.
Mm-hmm.
They got to close the Haitian conjure, and Haiti keep getting hit with shit because they got an open war conjure that's over 200 years old. At the close of the age, that shit has to be closed out.
Hmm. Okay. Hmm. What can I
But
do
there's
with
some
it?
motherfuckers that look like us that's trying to stop everything.
Mm-hmm.
They can't stop nothing though. You know they is. It ain't no secret no more. The secret that they had ain't no secret no more. Now they exposed to the public. Now they gotta get exposed publicly.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck them. I don't got no sympathy for them
But what? Why? Why did they do it?
because they wanted to claim Earth for their own. They ain't from here.
So,
They was
okay.
a different species, similar to
No, so
us,
I know that.
from a different type of universe.
Okay, so I know that. So then when they came here, they had to take the form of
The
like
highest evolutionary
that.
organism on the planet, which
Yes.
was the melanated.
Yes. Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
Right?
That makes sense. And we were peaceable people, just like in the Bible when they talk about what was it? Was it Babylon? No.
Look,
Before
we
Babylon?
still warriors, right? But we had ran out of wars to fight
Right.
because we had got so intelligent that war was like asinine, foolish, and childish.
We had come to that
That's how it
level of
evolved.
right
Right.
consciousness.
So the golden age has to bring this back to the surface so that we know the level of potential our mind have in order to move into a golden age again.
Hmm.
Because that's where we're going. And the sun cycle brings the golden age.
Hmm.
In the Jubilee year, 2022 is the Jubilee year. It's the final closing out of all of the contracts that held people hostages and enslaved.
Mm.
By the close of the year, there will be no more contracts that's open.
Mm-hmm.
They'll all be closed. And the only thing we're going to have to work on is getting Haiti to close that war contract.
Okay. So I had a dream a long time ago, and it was of Oya. And so I know that they're a dying breed, but it's just like um, the reason why I pitch community and unity so hard is because, like you said, they separated us and they lied to us so we could fight off each other and kill off each other. Um, but that artificial intelligence and like that, everybody is so big on having the newest Tesla and all of these things. Like, I hate to sound so old school, but I just feel like um, they are that's their last hoorah.
Okay, so what they did, this is what make it difficult for us to face the short struggle we gonna go through. We gonna get this struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gonna get this work.
Mm. Because it has to be
Yeah,
in
ain't no
plans anyway. So it's like,
the level of your preparedness gonna determine how much of this work your ass gonna get.
yes, sir.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So when the system shut down, don't say we didn't tell you. Don't say you didn't have a chance to prepare, because I've been telling motherfuckers for 3 fucking years.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I laid down the structure of the fall so that motherfuckers don't step into the road and a building drop on his head. Right? This shit is over with. But in the process of it, you still got to clean up the old shit before you break out the new shit.
Right.
Because you need to know what part of the old shit has to go and what parts you can use even if it's temporarily. Because you got to use anything that's useful.
Right.
And anything that's not useful, you discard that shit. This is why we say no more GMOs in the food,
And
right?
mm-hmm.
So they burning down the factories that making the GMO food. One of Gates' motherfucking manufacturing facilities just burned up overseas yesterday. So we now watching those little events like that, like Rome on fire, the time, the date, what's going on in the world politically, what's going on across the land socially, right? If you don't pay attention to that stuff, you can't see it. But if you see it, the people that's not paying attention is going to say that you don't see what you're telling them because they can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the glasses on.
Yeah.
And somebody said, don't forget to read that card. That you must have
There
pulled.
wasn't
You
there
pulled a
wasn't no
card.
yeah, I have been. Just when like I was talking, stuff was coming out confirming, but he hasn't asked a question, y'all. But I hope y'all listening to what he's saying, because that's the thing. It's like, the road is narrow, and the reason why they say that is because y'all attention span, even my attention span, I'll come home knowing I need to do some shit and stay on Instagram. Like, how prepared are you? How prepared are you? Because and how right are you with spirit? How light is your heart? Because there's a time and a place for everything. And don't think that what really fucks with me is when people think they're supposed to be covered by grace when they doing all kind of wrong shit.
Well, that's just narcissism at its finest.
But that's that
I can
inaccountability.
fuck over. Look, I'm fucking over everybody I come across talking about unprotected.
Right. And then get mad when you get stabbed or what I'm saying, you trip and break your arm. What? God didn't have me. No, you didn't have God.
Flat out. Flat out. So we need to go back to where we didn't have nursing homes. If one of the aunties couldn't take care of herself, she'd go out to Big Mama house.
Yes.
And then the teenage girls that was learning health care would be they CNAs that take care of them because they family, they ain't gonna mistreat them.
Yep. They'll be over there, and then you soaking up all of that game.
Yeah,
Like you getting all of that, all of those lessons. You know, when elders like you think they repeating themselves or they just running off at the mouth. That's spirit speaking to you. That's a lesson.
yeah,
That's lessons, you know, the best way to learn something is through somebody else's experience so you don't have to go through the hardship. So when you hear
that's the way.
people
That's called the way of the wise.
so when you hear people sharing their personal story instead of making fun of them and talking shit, actually listen to the lesson. And a lot of y'all laugh or make fun of people when they being vulnerable and really missing the blessing is coming to save your ass. I need to be more compassionate. I'm not being compassionate because the reason why I'm talking like that is 'cause I'm talking to
Look,
myself.
you care. Look, that's segment.
Yeah, I'm talking, you know.
Segment ain't gonna look. Segment got look. Y'all gotta straighten the fuck up. That's what segment tell them.
You know,
I don't got look. I don't got time to be trying to burp you and give you a pacifier. Get your motherfucking ass off your motherfucking pity party horse. Get your ass in the fight. You part of this shit, whether you want to be or not.
mm,
So you might as well pick up your motherfucking banner and march with the motherfuckers that's gonna be victorious because they on the move.
you gotta
That's what segment gonna tell them.
get it together, like 702 said. We have to get it together. And you know, the one thing that irks my nerves is when we claim royalty, royalty, royalty. It's in our DNA. We got magic, and ain't nothing magical about none of the shit that you do. You,
Yeah,
you don't
no,
do nothing
nothing
magical.
magical and nothing regal.
Nothing.
Got no etiquette whatsoever.
No code, no respect, nothing.
Yeah,
But what you said was so true. If you are able to connect with your family, if you still have elders that are living, because this was an attack like on the elders, just really on all of us, but really attack on our elders because when history is lost, the younger generation is lost. And a lot of my generation is still trying to live their younger days. So that grandma and grandpa shit is kind of far fetched or hard to find because they trying to relive their youth. So we have to take our position as elders and really settle down in our lives and in our hearts and in our minds. And we have to open up to the lessons that we share with each other. And we got to connect with our family again if you can. If you can make it wrongs right, if you can make amends, do it. If you can't, pray about it. Ask for forgiveness. Ask to be led to figure out how to change and how to elevate and how to be
and
the best
listen,
you possible.
the secrets of prayer. Since we on Oracle Connection, is the first understanding is that you talking to your higher consciousness, and your higher consciousness is your direct telephone line to Prime Source Creator. You can't send your higher self to get an answer and Source don't give it to him. The problem is when you get done with the prayer, that's when you have to, as they say in the church, let go and let God.
Right.
Right? You got to let your higher self in the universe work out the problems that's too complicated for you to work out, but you work out the ones within your control.
Yeah.
So you make the microcosm flips the macrocosm. If you control the ones you can, the ones you can't, the universe control for you.
You are giving big gems. That's a big
Right. And don't close your prayer by saying Amen, because that's telling the force of the God to keep it a secret. And if you keep it a secret, then it's kept sacred. That means you can't access it in the mundane.
what's the meaning of Amin? Because I say Amin or Ashe.
It comes from Amen or Amun, and it means the unknown aspect of God, but it's an alchemically charged name. and it has a direct energetic effect on whatever it is that you're sealing with Amen. That means that you saying the prayer, but you blocking it at the end. You
Right.
keeping it a secret.
Like God got
And
caller
because
ID and
it's
an Android
sacred,
in the phone or something.
right. So because it's kept sacred, you can't manifest it in a mundane because the mundane is the profane. The sacred cannot be accessed in the profane. So when you tell your higher self to Amen, keep it a secret, that means keep it sacred. That means save it for my next life because I ain't gonna access it this one.
Hmm.
You actually putting yourself in a personal conjure, but you don't know it.
So in let's say in relevance to people who say it without that knowledge that you just gave, then
Right.
their
So
ignorance
they got
provides grace,
accumulated,
right?
yeah. So they got accumulated energy built up in what you, the lack of a better way of putting it, I'll say prayer credit.
Hmm.
All you did was recorded all your shit in the universal mind because you did nothing in order to make it surface in the physical world. Right. Now some people know how to use the energy by doing certain stuff in the physical world that activates the prayer energy that was kept sacred.
Right. Because the power
Right.
of intention sometimes can, you know.
Right. Right. So this is what those prayer groups, what we call prayer warriors in the church,
Hmm.
they used to be the ones who held the secret to making the prayer manifest in short order by using the 369 science of the sisters.
Hmm.
That all of that got to be retaught to y'all.
Hmm. Yeah, prayer was sacred. Prayer was
Yeah.
you.
But
Yeah.
prayer is the talking to the creator.
Hmm.
Meditation is listening.
Hmm.
If you don't meditate, you won't never get your answer.
That's why sometimes you need to stop having all them distractions. Sometimes you got to shut that music off because we're people that love like music. We're people who love distractions. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes,
Yeah, but we can also learn how to use those things as facilitators.
oh, for sure.
But we have to be also willful minded that that's what we're using it for.
Yes.
If we don't attach that to it, we can't use it for that purpose.
Yes. Correct. I like.
Right? So people be saying, what's the meaning of life? Right? We hear it all the time. Ain't got none till you give it one.
Mm-hmm.
Life has no meaning until you give it a meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Has no value until you value it.
Mm-hmm.
If you have no value for life, then your life has no value to yourself. You know, you are running what you call an errant course,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the best thing to do is to always keep in mind to follow the golden rule.
What's the
If you don't want nobody to mistreat you, don't mistreat nobody. Each one teach one. We all gonna reach some.
love thy neighbor like you thy love thyself?
Yeah. Don't love your enemy though,
No.
but you better damn well respect that motherfucker, or he gonna run roughshod over you.
Yeah.
Don't that's what it should have said. Respect your enemy, not love that motherfucker.
Respected enough to keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, because once you respect them, that means that you got enough understanding to know the danger that it is to fuck with this particular enemy, and for you to overcome that enemy, it requires you to have a certain level of um, insight that supersedes what they're capable of doing to overthrow you.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
But by you being respectful of their position and their power, now you put yourself into the position like Aikido to deflect it and use their energy against them as opposed to allowing them to use it to subjugate you,
Mm-hmm.
right? In this particular case, the sister's taking a ball and going home, gonna shut this bitch down. But it's gonna happen in waves.
Mm-hmm.
It's already started, so it's just a matter of when.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
All right, I'm about to wrap this one up. I'm getting tired now. I'm ready to lay my butt down.
Yes. Well, have a great rest. Thank you for having me on here. I
Yeah, thank
appreciate
you for
you.
coming on.
You taught me so much. You're always sharing so much. So I thank God for continuously protecting you and blessing you and giving you provision and all of the good things. So until we speak again.
I think you're trying to make me blush.
No, I'm giving homage and paying respect. All right.
Yeah, that's gonna make me blush.
Oh, you are a red Indian. You got red tone. All right.
Yeah, I'm ready, red for real.
Right.
Yeah. All right, sweetie. I'm gonna talk back to y'all later. I'm about to exit out of this one.
Okay.
All right. So, just wanted to cash some receipts, go over a little understanding of tuning in the tarot or the oracle read in order to fine tune that shit. Now I'm getting a little exhausted because Big Mama had me doing physical labor, which I'll be doing some more tomorrow. But it got to be done in order to get where we're trying to go. Um, so it is what it is, but it was what it was, and now it's gonna be what it's gonna be. So peace out, everybody. Unity, fam.